Happy Monday, Digit fam. Sam here with the dose of tech news you need to get through the day. This is the Digit Daily Podcast for March 25th, 2019. Let's get right into it. Our top story today, or one of them, is largely the same one as Friday. Folks, we are on the cusp of big things at Apple. At 10 a.m. Pacific time, it's going to start announcing a slew of new services. That's right, by the time this podcast is out, it's completely possible that you'll know more than we do. How's it feel over there in the future? Is the food any good? I haven't had breakfast yet. Foremost among the new announcements is the company's new streaming service. To recap quickly, by many accounts, Apple is about to announce a new streaming service which bundles together offerings from existing channels like HBO, Showtime, and Starz with programming of its own. According to the Wall Street Journal, the service will cost $9.99 a month. Pretty cheap considering HBO Go on its own costs $15 a month. However, it's not just this service Apple's expected to launch. There's a premium gaming service that could give access to everything from Monument Valley to NBA 2K19. Apple's also been teasing a news and magazine service, which bundles subscriptions to a host of publications into a single fee. There's even been a rumor that the company's about to introduce a credit card. Over the weekend, Apple kicked off its live stream early, showing an empty theater, occasionally playing gags like missing a phone call from Captain America himself, Chris Evans, or having occasional performers on stage. At time of recording, the stream has shut down, no doubt in anticipation of beginning in earnest in just a few hours. Make no mistake, this could be the morning Apple completely redefines its business. Device sales have been stagnating or falling in many markets, and Apple services have been the most positive part of its business for a little while now. This could be when it shifts fully over. Sure, it'll still put out hardware, but like we saw with the new AirPods, iMacs, and iPads, we might not even get announcement events for that stuff anymore. Alright, transition time. Speaking of news we're coming out just before, across the pond in Paris, Huawei is a day away from announcing its P30 range of phones. The phones are already a relative known quantity thanks to a handful of recent leaks, including some from Huawei's own website. By the looks of it, the Huawei P30 and P30 Pro will sport a quad-camera rear setup with a night mode and a periscope telephoto lens on the Pro, which apparently brings 10x hybrid zoom. For those who don't remember, hybrid zoom was the tech Huawei cooked up for the P20 range, which mixed analog and digital zoom to increase image quality at higher magnifications. The regular P30 will also have a 6-inch display, a water drop notch, and an in-display fingerprint sensor, as well as new colors and a headphone jack. There's not a whole lot else to talk about here, but it is interesting to see the company currently eating Apple's Chinese market share continuing with business as usual, while Apple teases completely reorienting its business model. Anyway, let's move on and get into the roundup. First up, we have a family tracking app that, stop me if you've heard this one before, leaked real-time user location data. Family Locator lets families track each other in real time, meant to help spouses and parents know where their partners and children are. Seems useful and harmless enough, until you find out the app was leaking real-time location data for more than 238,000 users for weeks after the developer left a server exposed without a password, according to TechCrunch. Oh, and none of it was encrypted either. Speaking of companies being inept, a Lithuanian man just pled guilty to stealing $99 million from Facebook and $23 million from Google between 2013 and 2015. Evaldis Rimasauskas, say that 5 times fast, fleeced these companies with a pretty simple tactic. He sent them invoices, and they paid. Okay, it was a little more complicated than that on his end, but Facebook and Google got invoices and documents about work that never happened and just paid them. Rimasauskas was apparently a fairly prolific money launderer and now faces up to 30 years in prison. Look, I want to be clear, theft is bad. However, there's a part of me that takes comfort in companies like this who should be terrifying in their ability to know and do just about anything, proving so thoroughly inept. In gaming news, Nintendo is apparently set to announce 2 new versions of its Switch console in the next few months. One's expected to be cheaper and smaller, and one could be higher end. Now that the company's unified its home console and portable business, it looks like it's taking a similar release schedule to its DS handhelds. The smarty pants physicists over at CERN seem to have found one more thing, potentially helping to explain why there is more matter than antimatter in the universe. During an experiment with the Large Hadron Collider, or the LHC if you're in the know, scientists observed that matter on a subatomic level exists in mirror images with opposite charges. Now, apparently this isn't saying we all have an evil doppelganger out there somewhere, but it's not saying that either. Anyway, I think that's going to do it for today, folks. If you'd like to learn more about any of these stories, check out the links in the show notes and subscribe to our daily newsletter on digit.com. If you like what you heard, subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast player. Once again, I'm Sam Moore. I am S'mores on Twitter, and we'll see you tomorrow.